I grew up on an Aboriginal mission called the Bridge, and like I tell people, I went to exclusive primary school. The only people who can go to that primary school were Aboriginal kids, and it was great.
I was born in 1942, and it was a different world in the 50s. It was a period when our community and Australians were coming out of the Depression. There was sort of not very much in rights for Aboriginal people.
I grew up in Queensland, a little place called Marlborough, up in Queensland. It's in between Mackay and Rockhampton. Yeah.
A big tyre from a car, and you tuck yourself inside the tyre, and your cousin or your friend pushed you along, and away you went down the hill. And it was great.
We used to play Tarzan and Jane, you know Tarzan? Yeah. We used to swing on the trees across the creek. And you know them big tractor tyres? We used to have them. And we used to go down when we used to get a flood. We used to jump in one of them, and we used to go down in the water, down the creek in it, yeah.
My mother was always believed in education. I only went to second year high school because you could leave school at 14, but my mother couldn't read and write. So as soon as we could sort of write, we had to write the letters for my mother. And also when we got the mail, we would also read the letters to my mother.
The principal was our teacher, you know, because that's how small school was, and they didn't care whether we learned or not. But then if we didn't learn and we got something wrong, we got the cane. They didn't mind hitting us with the cane. And we used to go home, we had to learn, say 6 or 7 words, and we'd come back next day and we'd have to know how to spell it. And if we got 3 wrong or 4 wrong, right, up, he'd say, get up here to the blackboard. Bang, bang, across the legs. If you got 5 wrong, you got 5 hits. That's how tough it was, I tell you. They didn't care whether you learned, but you got something wrong, they were there with that stick in their hand, yeah.
My mother was terrified that we were going to be sort of taken away and sent to Palm Island, and particularly in our very early days we were put in wardrobes, we were put under beds behind mosquito nets, and as we got older we were told to run down the bush, and thank goodness for those big old police trucks. They had a crash gearbox, and they'd have to change down gears, and next minute somebody'd come through yelling, "Bullyman, bullyman," which meant the police. All us Aboriginal kids were dispersed in all sorts of directions. But I'm sure if they would have been fair dinkum enough, the first thing I would have looked at was in the wardrobes or under the beds and things like that. And my mother for many, many years always stood at the front gate, and unless you were a sort of a relative or a close friend, then you only come into the house and things like that.
I was walking home from school and they were ahead of me, and when I got up there, and they stopped, and when I got up there, and they turned around and they started bashing me. And we had a low road down the bottom, and my cousin and them friends were walking up there because they lived around that way, and they didn't see my cousins, and they come running up through the paddock, and they grabbed that girl and they said, "Go Margaret, get her." And she was the policeman's daughter. So I bashed her and went home, and I was just scared. And the policeman come across the road later on, and he sang out to my grandma. I thought he was coming over to lock me up. And I was, he's going to lock me up, you know. But he come over and he said, "You tell Margaret it's all right what she done." Because she got a belting from her father for doing what she did.
When I was in 3rd or 4th grade, I asked my teacher about being a teacher, because I didn't see an Aboriginal teacher anywhere. That's just the fact of life, and I just left it at that. But what the teacher said to me was, "Mavis, you can do anything you would like to do. If you want to be a teacher, be a teacher."
But when you tell a story, Corey, when you tell a story to our children, which you are to me, you start from the beginning. It's called a journey, Corey.
Yeah.
And it can be either a sad journey or a beautiful journey.